listen. I'm leaving. And I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen. Sometimes the train sounds like the ocean. When I'm asleep and leaving town, I close my eyes and notice all the worst things. Sometimes your steps sound like a freight train. As I'm lost and on the tracks, I close my eyes and realize we're further away. Now a few times a year, I can't fall asleep without a pill down my throat to take some weight off of my feet. And I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen. When I was 18, I swore I'd never, but 10 years as a way of teaching. Now I'm learning that if I wanna sleep, there's some things I can't keep to myself.
So, hi guys. I don't know if anybody is here. I know Tim said he was waiting. Martha's here. Okay, we got one. I said roll call, and no one roll called. Tim is here. We got a couple other people. Look at all these tabs left, you guys. So, they're still... I mean, I think most of them are probably dead ending. Cool. Look at this here. Man, so I had the most epic 20-minute adventure just now when I went outside and looked in the pool because it looked like kind of less green because I put sanitizer in it. And there was a dead squirrel floating in the pool right in front of me. And I literally almost just died. And my friend Jason came over and took it out of the pool and buried it in my backyard. Thank God, because I didn't know what to do with it. So that's what happened to me when I got home from work today. And we're gonna read this book. So yeah, that was really not fun. I was not about it. So yeah. Okay, so let's finish this book because I don't even remember where we were at. I was so tired, you guys. Okay, the page that I have right here. Dang, yeah, I don't even remember the last thing I read. I was so tired. Okay, something about the witch's broom and a werewolf. And, I don't know what led us here, though. I feel like maybe I can go back a little bit further. That's 126. Go to 95, 44. I gotta figure out how we got to page 127, you guys. Okay, so it's 107. That's this one. We helped the witch on 95. And then to 18. And then 115. And 49. 129. 127. Dang, that was like a whole big thing we just did. Wow, this is probably really boring. I should have figured this out first. That would have been cool. Sorry. How did we get to 107? Okay, I think I'm gonna have to go back. Okay, I figured out how we get to 107. Okay. Okay, so do you guys remember the mummy that we encountered? Just dig in all the stuff in the background. Eyes. Supposed to be 6 sad rope logo. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I got those eyes at Target for like the Halloween season last year. So they're pretty awesome little dudes. So some of my favorite decor. Okay, so we joined the blue team because we finished our red team adventure, and so we joined the blue team. And we walked into somewhere where there was a mummy. Going back a couple more than we were at, and we'll just follow the path we took already because I don't remember enough of what happened. Yeah, so you had the choice to try and take the wrapping from the mummy itself, or to take the wrapping from like the sarcophagus. And so I believe we took the wrapping from the sarcophagus the first time, and then we ended up being mummified. And so we went back, and we then decided to try and take it directly from the mummy. So here we are. I'm going to start here. On page 39. You hold your breath and approach the sleeping mummy. What will happen if you wake it? You move carefully, inch by inch. You reach your hand out towards the mummy. Snorf! You jump back as the mummy lets out a disgusting snore. You pause, then reach out again. This time, you manage to grab a small piece of bandage that's dangling from its left arm. Quickly, you pull. The bandage rips free, and the mummy didn't even move. What a sleeper. You have 2 of the 4 items on the list, the human bone and the mummy's bandage. Now, you only need a straw from a witch's broom and 3 hairs from a werewolf, but time is ticking. I've searched the downstairs pretty well, you think to yourself, so the other items must be upstairs. You spot a narrow, circular staircase behind the mummy case. Up, up, up. Around and around you go. You're getting really dizzy, and the air is ice cold up here. Your teeth begin to chatter. Suddenly, the staircase ends in the middle of a musty corridor. You can turn left or right. Which way will you go? The option was if we were wearing a sweater or sweatshirt, we went to the right. Otherwise, we head to the left on page 68. So we're going to 68. You turn to the left and jog down the narrow hallway. You listen for the three monsters, but all you hear are your own sneakers slapping against the floorboards as you run. The end of the hall is dark, pitch black. You wish you had a flashlight. You can't even see your own feet. You slow down and place one hand on the wall to guide you. You wonder if you should turn back, and then you feel something. Something rough and bristly. Your fingers tighten around it. You squint in the blackness. It's a rope. No, you realize suddenly. It's a rope ladder. The ladder runs up the wall. You decide to climb it. You've got nothing to lose, you figure, and there might be a way out at the top. You grab on tightly to the rope and begin to climb. The rope rubs roughly against your hands, making them burn, but you ignore the pain and keep climbing. The ladder sways from side to side with each step. Your stomach lurches, but you continue on. You concentrate on not looking down. Then you hit the final rung. You carefully reach a hand up to the ceiling and feel a sliding door. Open the door on 131. You slide open the door and lift yourself up into a moonlit room with a slanted ceiling. Old furniture and trunks of clothes are strewn everywhere. Crouching, you make your way over to a little window. You peer out and sigh. You are 3 stories up. You must be in the attic, you realize. There's no way you can jump out the window. You'll never make it to the ground alive. You shuffle back across the floor, trying to think of a plan. As you poke around in the junk, you spot a tall, clear box at the far end of the attic. There appears to be something black in it, and leaning against it is a broom. Could that be the witch's broom? The one on the scavenger hunt list? You hurry over to investigate. "Help me!" a shrill voice cries as you reach for the broom. The voice is coming from the box. There's a woman trapped inside. Her face is lined with deep wrinkles. Her long, knotted gray hair flows over a black dress. "Wow," you gasp. The woman stares at you. Her green eyes seem to pierce through your flesh. "At last," she wails. "I've been waiting 200 years for you." Turn to page 107. "What?" you cry. "I've been imprisoned in this magic box for 2 centuries, the witch goes on. "All this time I've waited for somebody to set me free." "Really?" you say doubtfully. "This sounds a lot like those fairy tales your mom used to read to you when you were 5 years old." "Please help me," the woman pleads. You glance at your watch, and then over to the broom. Booger, stop destroying things. Ooh, I lost my place because Booger. I'm so sorry. "I'd like to help you," you say, "but I have to find a straw from a witch's broom really fast. Otherwise, I'll turn into a monster." "Well, I'm a witch," the woman tells you, "and I have a broom. Help me, and I'll help you." "If you're a witch, can't you say a spell to escape?" you ask. "Don't you think I've already tried that?" the witch spits back. "It didn't work." Your gaze travels from the witch to the broom and back to your watch. Only 15 minutes until midnight. What should you do? We decided to help the witch and went to page 95. "Okay," you tell the witch. "I'll try to help you." "You won't regret it," she promises. "Hurry around to the back of the box." You do as she says. On the back of the clear box, there are 2 handprints. Place your hands on the prints, the witch instructs. Once again, you follow her request. Now repeat after me. Ari Karem, Ami Karu. You chant the magic words. "Now clap your hands," she says. You clap. Nothing happens. You clap again. Still nothing. "What's going on?" you demand impatiently. "I must have given you the wrong spell," she admits. "I'm a little rusty with my magic after all these years." Now, what were those words? "Hurry," you cry. It's 10 minutes till midnight. You try to pull your hands away from the box, but they're stuck as if they were glued. "Hurry," you urge her again. "I've got it," she announces. "Say the words." "Sprumspoog, sprumspoog." You notice the witch has her fingers crossed. Not a good sign. You repeat the magic words. Go to page 18. Zang! With a loud, vibrating noise, the glass box vanishes. The witch stands before you. The magic worked. Thank you, oh thank you, the witch gusses. No problem, you say, but time is running. You're right, the witch says. Time's running out. She thrusts her broom into your hands. Be careful how you remove the straw, she warns. Excellent, you cry. Now all I have to do is pluck 3 hairs from a werewolf. Easy, the witch scoffs. I know where to find a werewolf. You do? You ask incredulously. Sure, the witch says. The werewolf is in the basement. Or at least he was 200 years ago. You can take the elevator Professor Krupnik installed. She proudly points to a small elevator in the corner of the attic. She disappears in a puff of bright pink smoke. You hurry to the elevator. The door magically opens. Quickly, you step inside. But the broom gets stuck in the opening. You frantically try to pull out a straw, but none will come out. You could break one off, you think, but then you remember the witch's warning. So we had the option to take a chance and break a straw, or to squeeze the broom into the elevator. And we squeezing the broom on 115. You decide not to risk breaking off a straw. You stand in front of the tiny elevator with the broom. You scratch your head. The broom is definitely too tall, and the elevator opening is too short. How will you possibly make this broom fit, you wonder? Time is ticking. You only have one choice. You turn the broom diagonally and try to wedge it through the elevator door. It works. You quickly jump onto the elevator yourself, and the floor drops out from beneath your feet. The broom tumbles down the elevator shaft. You grab for the railing on the elevator wall. There's nothing between you and the basement but air. You hang on, gripping so tightly your knuckles turn white. What will you do now? There's no way you can crawl back out, and if you let go, you'll plunge to your death. Help, you cry out, help! But you know no one will help you. Your fingers start to slip. You try to grip the railing more tightly, but one finger falls away, and then another. Quick, turn to page 49. You're hanging onto the elevator railing by one hand now. You start to say your prayers, when you hear a strange whooshing sound. A bright blue glow fills the dark air shaft. You glance down. It's the witch's broom, glowing blue, floating up through the air. You bellow with joy. The next thing you know, the magic broom swoops underneath you. Without thinking, you throw your arms around the broom handle, and you're off. With a loud whoosh, the broom flies you down to the basement. What a ride! You leap off the broom onto solid ground. You're safe, you think. And then you hear the snarling. You spin around and spot a furnace belching bright yellow flames. And next to it sits a huge cage with a pacing, snarling werewolf inside. Go to page 129. Clang! The werewolf crashes head-on into the side of the cage. He howls in frustration. His fangs snap at you. You back up a step. You bite your lip as you stare at the hairy beast. Familiar laughter fills the room as Nick, Debbie, and Connor slide down the basement's staircase banister. What's the matter? Nick taunts you. Not having fun? Only 4 minutes left, Connor reminds you, pointing at his small watch. If you don't get 3 hairs from the werewolf by then, you'll turn into one of us. But that's not so bad, is it? Debbie says. I mean, don't you think I'm beautiful? She plucks a tarantula from her hair and wiggles it at you. You gaze at her hideous face and shudder. You'll do anything to avoid turning into a monster like her. Cautiously, you step up to the cage. You stick your hand between the iron bars. Slowly you reach for the werewolf. Growl! The beast's jaws snap at your fingers, barely missing them. You pull your hand back, trembling. There's only one way to get the hairs, Nick says. You'll have to go into the werewolf's cage. Go to page 127. Hang on, let me check our status here. Because this is pretty close to where we died. Okay. Nick is right. You'll have to go into the cage. Still holding the witch's broom, you approach the werewolf. Connor and Debbie laugh. but you focus on the hairy beast. With each step you take, it growls louder. And then suddenly, the creature whimpers. His ears flatten against his head. He's afraid, you realize. But of what? You reach the cage door. The werewolf whines loudly. The broom. It's scared of the witch's broom. You don't know why, and you don't care. You hold the broom in front of you with confidence. You open the door and squeeze into the cage. The beast lunges at you. Quickly, you thrust the broom at it. The werewolf backs off, but only a few paces. Nice going, wimp, Connor taunts. Only 2 minutes left. The werewolf drops to all fours. He snarls, sniffing at you and the broom. Now he reminds you of a very large dog. Hey, you think. Maybe the answer is to treat the werewolf like a dog. Command him the same way you command your own dog. Or you could pretend to be a wolf. Maybe that way he'll let you close enough to pluck hairs. So we chose to pretend to be a wolf on page 101. This is still where we were before, but I'm going to go through it so we can remember. You decide to try and act like a wolf. Very carefully, you drop the broom. Then you get down on your hands and knees. The werewolf backs off, confused. So far, so good, you think. You tilt your head back and howl, a long, mournful howl. The werewolf howls back. You start to crawl towards the beast, sniffing the ground like an animal. You glance up. The werewolf is staring at you intently. Will he attack, you wonder? You continue with your wolf act. You crawl until you're just inches away from him. You raise your head again when he pounces. The beast knocks you to the ground. You stare up in terror. His vicious fangs are less than an inch from your face. His mouth opens, and then he starts to lick your nose. He thinks you're another werewolf. He likes you. A lot. He licks your cheeks, your nose, your neck, your fur. Fur? You hear the last gong of a chiming clock in the distance, and Nick, Debbie, and Connor's uproarious laughter. With a sinking heart, you realize that it's midnight. The game is over. You acted your part well. Too well. And now you're a werewolf forever. Well, at least you made a friend. The end. But that's already counted in our 18 endings in our 5-time loops. So, thank you for recapping with me for the last 20 minutes, since I don't remember anything that I read in the last half hour of that book. So we're going to go back to, and we're going to try and command the werewolf instead, and go to page 122. You have a plan. You'll command the werewolf as if you were a dog. You know from training your own dog, Spots, that it's important to be firm. Show the dog that you're the boss. You hold the broom out in front of you and step forward boldly. You stare the werewolf in the eye. Sit, you instruct in your most commanding voice. The werewolf snarls, but then he sits. Good boy. You try not to get too excited. Now stay. The werewolf eyes you, but doesn't move a muscle. Good, you praise. Now the hard part. Will you be able to pluck hairs from the beast without him biting your head off? Bong, bong. Your heart jumps as you recognize the sound of the clock chiming midnight. Bong, bong. You've got to move fast. You step closer to the werewolf. You issue your final command. Hurry to page 8. Shake, you instruct the werewolf. The 11th chime rings out. Hurry, you think. Hurry. The werewolf holds out his paw. Quickly, you pluck 3 hairs from his forearm. The final chime never rings. Instead, there's an enormous thunderclap. The force shakes the house. I did it, you cry, dancing in a circle. I got the 4 items. There is no answer. You gaze around the basement. It's empty. No Nick, no Debbie, no Connor, no werewolf. Where is everyone, you shout. I won. The fire in the furnace is turned to cold ashes. You head for the staircase to climb upstairs. Hey, Nick! Debbie? Connor? You call out. I'm here, cries a familiar voice. It's Nick. You race up the steps 2 at a time. You follow his voice to the living room of Batwing Hall. You feel around in your pocket. You still have the human bone, the mummy's bandage, and the werewolf's hairs. In your other hand, you hold the witch's broom. You have all the items on your list. The monsters have got to let you go, right? You step into the living room. Turn to page 105. I have all the items on the list, you announce as you enter the dark living room. I found the human bone, mummy's bandage, the witch's broom, and I even got 3 hairs from a wood. What are you talking about? Nick interrupts. You gasp. You can't believe your eyes. There sit Nick, Debbie, and Connor in a circle on the living room floor. But they're not monsters. They look like normal kids. What happened? You cry. Why did you change back? Change back? Debbie asks, running a hand through her long, spider-free hair. Change back from what? From monsters, you say. Come on, you guys. I know what you really are. Don't play any more games. Hey, Nick, Connor says. Your new friend is nuts. Monsters? That's a good one. But the scavenger hunt. You try to explain. And the mummy and the skeleton. The 3 kids stare at you with a blank expression as you stammer. Listen, Debbie tells you, standing up and leading you to their circle. You're just in time for Nick's very spooky story. You sit on the floor, your mind spinning. Turn to page 90. Nick begins his story. There once were 3 kids. They looked like kids you'd meet every day, at school or in the playground. But these kids were different. They were under an evil spell. A spell that turned them into monsters. And there was only one way to release them from it. What's that? Connor asks, leaning forward. They had to find another kid who would pass a horrible, deadly test. No kid had ever completed the test and lived to tell about it. Nick continues in a low voice. The test was a scavenger hunt, and the kid would have to find 4 creepy, impossible things. Only then would the monsters change back into kids. What happened? Debbie asked breathlessly. You stand up and head for the front door. You're going home. You have a funny feeling you know exactly how this story is going to end. 19 endings. I kind of like that idea, but I kind of also feel like it was a bit of a cop-out, so I don't know. Okay, now we can continue to move back. We got 19 endings and 5 time loops. So now we are going back to the point where the witch was like, help me escape! And we chose to help the witch. But this time we're going to decide to leave her in the box and just grab her broom. So we're going to page 44. Hey, listen, I'm really sorry, you tell the witch, but I've got to look out for myself now. I'll try to help you later. Then you grab her broom. How dare you abandon me, the witch shrieks. She starts to mumble a string of weird words. All you can make out is something that sounds like Amakazumi. At that instant, the handle of the broom glows bright blue in your hand, and then the broom begins to move. You try to pull away, but you can't. Your hand is stuck to the broom. Hey, you yell, but it's too late. The broom lifts you up, higher and higher. You wrap your arms and legs around it to hold on for your life, and then the broom starts to fly. Stop, you yell. You can hear the witch cackling in her box. You zoom straight to the ceiling, swerve to the left, and head for the little window. Faster, faster. You crash through the glass. The icy night air stings your face as you zoom in circles through the sky. You stare down at Batwing Hall. Nick, Debbie, and Connor stand on the front lawn, pointing up at you. You made it out. Too bad you'll never make it down to the ground. The end. Uh-oh. I guess we should have helped her, huh? We made it to 20 endings, friends. Okay. Okay, so now we're going back to the mummy escape, and we're going to pretend we're wearing a sweater or sweatshirt. And it's not 90 degrees outside. We are turning to the right on page 29. You turn to the right. The walls are covered with dirty, dingy wallpaper. It flakes under your fingers as you grope your way through the hall. You hope you're going in the right direction, but you have no idea where to find a witch's broom or a werewolf. Suddenly, you spot a doorway and hear a faint beeping noises coming from the room. As you move closer, flashes of light escape the entrance. You enter the room. Oh no, there's Nick, Debbie, and Connor. You're about to run, but then you notice the monsters are sitting around a large screen. Debbie and Connor have controls in their hands. You realize that they're playing a video game. Stop, Connor, Debbie shrieks. Stop cheating. Shut up, Connor retorts. All I have to do is get 3 apples and I can bomb you back to level 1. You watch in amazement. You recognize the game they're playing. Mud Monsters. You can't believe that these 3 hideous monsters are playing your favorite video game. And playing it badly. It gives you an idea. The idea is dangerous and very risky, but if it works, it might save your life. What's your idea? Find out on page 121. Nick suddenly whirls around and spots you. What are you looking at? He snarls. His long, forked tongue darts out at you. You ignore him. Hey, Connor, you call at the giant monster. You'd get more points if you squash the grapes before you get the apples. Who asked you? Connor booms. But he clicks the control in his hand and tries your suggestion. It worked, he cries in surprise. Then he grumbles. Must have been a lucky guess. Not at all, you tell him. You just stink at this game. What? Connor roars. He bolts out of his chair. His head brushes the ceiling. Why, you puny little... You're so lousy at the game, anyone could beat you. Don't you go on. Even me. Connor's face turns red. His giant arms reach for you. You dodge them. Are you afraid to play me? You continue, even though your knees are shaking. As you had hoped, Connor grows angrier and angrier. I'm not afraid of anything, he roars. Then let's have a contest, you offer. Whoever gets the most points wins. If I win, you have to let me go. And if you win, you can turn me into a monster right now. Okay? What will Connor say? Find out on page 7. Oh, are we supposed to drink at 20? We probably are. Cheers. You're on, Connor growls. But you go last. Then he plugs in 2 more sets of controls. Hey, what are you doing, you cry. Those are for Nick and Debbie, he replies. No fair, you protest. I said I'd play against you. Drink every page. It's all of us or no deal, Connor snarls. What can you say? You nod and sigh. Sure, okay. Nick plays first, Connor announces. And remember, you have to beat all of us to win. Nick begins to play. You're not too worried, though. You've seen Debbie play. She couldn't even handle 1 level. How good could Nick be? Nick makes his first moves. Uh-oh. Nick is excellent. Connor and Debbie bomb out early, but you and Nick finally move through the lower levels. Finally, you both reach level 12, the top level. You've never reached this level before. Beads of sweat trickle down your face. Up, down, jump, right, left, shoot. You operate the controls like a pro, but then the mud monsters throw out a tidal wave of mud. Do you jump the wave, or do you try and duck under it? Quick, make a decision. If you guys want to jump over the wave, we'll choose option 1. If you want to duck under, then we'll choose option 2. And I'm trying to load the poll, as usual. It's thinking about it. Or you can just tell me. Okay, here's the poll. I did it. Here it is. Okay. Jump the wave, choose option 1. Slide under the wave, Choose option 2. How many people do we have? I got 4 votes. I think there's only 4 of you guys on here, right? So I shouldn't have to wait for more votes. You guys tied. It's a tie. We need more than 4. Anyone? I see 6 viewers, but only 4 people voted. And I don't know who those other 2 viewers could possibly be because they're not talking. Luda, Aiko gets a vote. What's his vote? Okay, cool. Option 2. That's what we're going to choose. Okay, we're going to try and duck under the mud wave on page 72. You try to duck under the tidal wave of mud, but the force is too strong. You're sucked deeper and deeper into the mud. But Nick jumps over the wave, and he makes it. You lost, Nick cries in triumph. Wait, you cry, let me... Forget it, Connor roars. We made a deal. Now just hold still. It'll all be over in a minute. You drop your head into your hands. In a few minutes, you'll be a monster too. You try to look on the bright side. You'll still be able to play video games. In fact, you're ready to ask Nick for a rematch. The end. Okay. That's ending 21. I guess we'll see what happens if we try to jump the wave on page 20. You maneuver your controls quickly and jump over the mud wave. You made it. Now, if you can just destroy the mud monsters, you'll win the game. You concentrate hard. Focus on the screen. You move through snapping turtles and sea monsters. Then, at the right moment, you drop the bombs you saved from level 7. Boom! You blow up the mud monster's nest. Congratulations, the screen blinks. You have destroyed the mud monsters. I win, you cry. I don't believe it, Nick yells, throwing down his controls. How could you lose like that, Debbie shrieks at Nick. How could you let a kid beat you? Connor snarls. Everyone starts arguing. Debbie and Connor yell at Nick. Nick screams back. They have all forgotten about you. You decide not to wait around for them to show you out. You're sure you can't trust these monsters. You make a break for the door. You dodge out into the hallway and race down the stairs, through the downstairs rooms, to the front door. You're almost free. You grab the doorknob, begin to pull, when someone grabs your shoulder and drags you back. See who's got you on page 116. You spin around to see who's clutching your shoulder, and you can't believe your eyes. It's a one-handed skeleton. Your heart begins to pound, and your bones begin to rattle, louder than the skeleton's bones. You're terrified, but you're angry too. You won that game, fair and square. You deserve to leave. You kick the skeleton in the shin bone, hard. His hand drops from your shoulder as he grabs his leg and shrieks in pain. You jerk the door open and race outside. You sprint down the street, up your driveway, into your nice, safe house. You made it out of Batwing Hall. You practically crawl into your living room. Your little brother is sitting on the floor, a video game controller in his hands. He's playing Mud Monsters. Play with me, he begs. Sure, you say. Little brother, watch out. Up, down, jump. Left, right, splat. The mud monster destroys you with a super mud ball. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. The end. I guess we won. But it seems weird that, like, there was a skeleton and then it's just gonna be like, okay, I guess you can just leave. Peace out. Even though I'm pretty sure at this point we already, like, I think we have his finger right now. So, like, this happens every time at the end as we go back, because, like, we're so good at choosing endings in this book that we, like, make it through the whole storyline without dying, and then as we work back, we're like, dead, 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 dead. So, Yeah, I expect a lot of these will be like real quick endings. Thanks, lay down. Okay, so we got that one, or this one. Oh, I must have put this one in like a weird spot. Okay, so we're going back to the witch, actually. Sorry, I mixed up the levels. The ice cream company one. Okay, so we were trying to take the broom onto the elevator, and we chose to try and squeeze it in. And instead, we're going to try and break a straw off of the broom on page 21. We missed that one. You step out of the elevator. You hold the broom tightly in one hand and choose one straw. Then, with the other hand, you snap it off. You wait for a moment, standing motionless. Nothing happens. Everything is okay. You breathe a sigh of relief and then stuff the straw in your pocket along with the human bone and the mummy's bandage. The scavenger hunt is almost over. You step into the elevator. But hey, wait, the elevator has vanished. You plummet through the darkness, down, down. There's no way to stop. You have nothing to help you. In a moment, you'll smash into the basement floor. Too bad. It seems you made a mistake with the witch's broom. And for you, alas, it was the last straw. Yeah. Ending 22. Okay. Now we're going back to 23. How did I miss 23? Oh, you just didn't say 23. Or you didn't say 22, but we did have 22. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, so we're back to that wizard that had... He reaches into his robe and pulled out 2 stones, and his right hand is a glowing red stone, and his left hand is a dull gray rock. One stone is an enchanted stone, he explains. I will return you to where you came from. The other stone is an ordinary rock. Pick one. We preferred the gray rock because we assumed that it was going to be a trap, or they were trying to trick us. So we're going to choose the red one on page 84. I choose the glowing red stone, you tell the wizard. Silently, the wizard hands it to you. The red stone is strangely warm in your hand, and it seems to be vibrating. You can feel its slow throbbing. As you stare at the stone, it glows brighter and brighter. The heat from the stone seeps through your hand, spreading warmth to your arm, and then your whole body. You begin to sweat. Your temperature rises. The priests begin chanting. You grow hotter, hotter, hotter. The chanting voices fade in and out. I'm burning up, you think frantically. A yellow light suddenly flashes before your eyes. The light is so incredibly bright you have to shut your eyes. When you open them, you're in a dark hallway, and your body feels okay. Not too hot, not too cold. You gaze around in amazement. You're back in Batwing Hall. You're safe. Go on to page 64. I made it, you cry. I'm safe. Then you see Nick strolling down the hallway towards you. His long reptile tail drags behind him, sending up clouds of dust. It's all over, he cries triumphantly. What do you mean, you cry? I mean, too bad, Nick sneers. You didn't find all the items in time. You lose. Hold on, you protest. I still have an hour. Check your watch, Nick hisses. It's now 1 minute to midnight. You gaze at your watch. Oh no, you cry out. To your horror, you see that Nick is right. You were sent back an hour later than when you left. Now you feel your teeth begin to lengthen and grow down over your lips. Enormous warts pop up all over your skin. Your body hunches and your arms sweep the ground. Sorry, the redstone wasn't much help. It returned you to your own time at the wrong time. The end. 24-ish? Something? Okay, so now we are back to the mummy. I feel like we did both of these. Hang on. I think it must have looped. 17. I don't know. It didn't say what we became. Okay, yeah. 39 takes us to that. 117. 37. 58. Okay, we just hit another time loop, you guys. So that's 24 endings and 6 time loops. This is by far the most time loops we have had in a long time. Maybe ever. So the next back step is Debbie told you that she wants to help you escape. Okay, so you were working on the scavenger hunt, and Debbie told you that it was a trap and that you weren't gonna get let go anyway. But she wants to save you. So this time we're gonna follow her advice on page 86. I'm going to trust you, you tell Debbie. Please help me get out of here. A wise choice, Debbie sneers. She glances over her shoulder and then beckons you to follow her. Be quiet, she warns. There's no telling what Nick and Connor will do if they find out. You creep down a long, dark hall behind Debbie. The tarantulas squirm wildly through her hair. You are glad Debbie, with her gross purple face, is really a friend. Then you reach the end of the hall, and there stand Nick and Connor. Saliva drips from their mouths as they smack their lips. Then, 7-foot-tall Connor lumbers forward towards you. His enormous arms reach for you. You glance back at Debbie for help. She's your friend, right? Hurry to page 38. Wrong. Tricked you again, Debbie cries, cackling hideously. I can't believe you fell for it. Now it's time to turn you into a monster. Connor is only inches from you now. You search frantically for a way out. You tuck your head to your chest, close your eyes, and race back down the hallway toward Debbie. You barrel right into her and knock her to the ground. But Nick and Connor are only steps behind. Come back, Debbie wails at you. You run. Faster, faster. Down dark hallways, footsteps pound behind you. You have no idea how to get out of this house. And then you see a door, a bright green door. Open the door on page 43. You pull open the green door. You find yourself back in the living room. This house is like a never-ending maze, you think. You glance behind you. No sign of Debbie, Nick, or Connor. You check your watch. It's 10:50 p.m. You have only a little over an hour before you turn into a monster. You're trying to decide what to do next when you hear a strange noise. Thump, thump, scrape. Oh, this is a time loop. This is where we first encountered the mummy. This is 7 time loops, you guys. Ooh. Okay. I bet they all will be. They might be at this point. That would be interesting if they all just loop. Okay, so we were, I don't remember where we were at. Oh, we're in the kitchen. We were checking in, like, the cabinets and stuff, and we found some bandages. And we, but Debbie was like, no, those aren't the mummy bandages. Those are regular bandages. And then the closet door was seeping red, sticky stuff underneath it, and it looked like blood. And so we opened the closet door to check and see, and it was like raspberry jam or something, I think. But we're going to go back and check the dining room again on page 78. You run for the dining room, but Nick clamps a clawed green hand on your wrist. Afraid of a little blood? What a wimp. You try to struggle free, but Nick holds on tight. You failed the test, Connor announces. He points to the watch on his thick, hairy wrist. It's already 1 minute to midnight. What? You cry? You glance down at your own watch, but Nick is gripping your arm too hard. I've only started searching, you protest. I've still got plenty of time. But we're running on monster time, Nick taunts with an evil grin. And by our clock, your time is run out. No, you scream, no! With all your strength, you pull your arm free from Nick. You glance at your watch. Magically, it too reads 1 minute to midnight. And then you glance at your wrist again and scream. Thick brown hair is growing all over your arm and your legs and all over you. And now claws are sprouting where your fingernails once were. Too bad. From the look of it, you're on monster time now too. Forever. The end. Oh. That's 25 endings with 7 time loops. We're down to the last 4-ish. When we first started the scavenger hunt, he told us we could start on the main floor or to try our luck upstairs. And we went upstairs first. And that might end up being a loop. Because I remember we got like stuck halfway up the stairs. Yes, that is a time loop. Yep, because they both end up going back to 11 to stay on the main floor. So... Okay. 25 endings, 8 time loops. Okay, so now we're back, and right after our friends turned into monsters, they told us that we had to stay and do the scavenger hunt, that we could not go home. And we had to make up our mind if we thought it was all a joke or if we thought the monsters were real. And we decided that the monsters were real. But this time we're going to go back to say it was all a joke on page 13. Maybe they're not monsters at all. You're sure Nick, Debbie, and Connor are playing a joke on you. You turn and stare at Nick's reptile-like face. A long, forked tongue darts out at you. You wonder how he does that. Excellent costumes, guys, you say. You really got me. Connor growls. Okay, enough. Joke's over, you announce. Take those masks off. Nobody moves. You reach over to Nick and grab his face. If he won't take his mask off, you'll do it for him. The scales feel slippery. You tug, and then you know. It isn't a mask. Nick is a monster. Too bad you didn't believe him. Too bad. because with one chomp of Nick's reptile sharp fangs, you will come to a monstrous end. 26 and 8. Okay. Let's see. We are now back to where we were about to enter Batwing Hall the very first time. And right before we walked in, Nick yelled, "Stop, get down." And we had the option to do what he said or to ignore him and head straight for the door. And we did what he said, and this time we're going to ignore him on page 85. Nick's trying to scare you, you think. He's testing you to see if you're brave enough for the horror club. You shrug and rush forward. You dash across the porch and squeeze through the narrow space in the boards covering the front door. You land on your knees with a thud. As soon as you hit the floor, a piercing alarm sounds through the house. What's going on, you wonder? You gaze around quickly. Nick and Debbie are nowhere to be found. The dark house seems empty. You hold your ears, trying to block out the horrible noise. And then, through the dusty windows, you see lights. Red, whirling lights. The police! You've set off a burglar alarm. Now you're in big trouble. How will you ever explain this to the police? Or to your mom and dad? Too bad. It looks as if your adventure is over before it began. The end. 27 endings. I can't keep track. You're supposed to write them down for me. 27 and 8, I think. There's one tabby left in here. Oh, and I think we already did this. Did we not go back? So this one is like when he invited us to Horror Club and we went with him. And then there was one to say, thanks anyway, and not go. But there was a loop that took us back there, so I think we already did that one. Page 91. Oh yeah, and then you end up just calling them all to meet up. That's it. That was it. It was 27 and 8, you guys. Definitely some of our higher numbers. Thank you for rejoining me for the awake portion of the back half of the book. We've got some new friends that I added to the collection. There's another one upstairs. And we've still got a few more here. So I've got 7 more books in the collection we can choose from, you guys. So the ones that we keep dodging, we've got The Night in Werewolf Woods, and The Curse of the Creeping Coffin, and Night in Screaming Armor. Those were the 3 we had left. And then I have just added Beware of the Purple Peanut Butter, Escape from Camp Run for Your Life, which this is one that I did have as a kid. I don't remember anything about it, but I know I had this one because I remember the cover. And The Curse of the Cave Creatures. And then there's one more, something else about a mummy, I think. Give me 3 seconds and I will grab it. Okay, that took more than 3 seconds. I thought I lost it. Okay, so here's the last one is Diary of a Mad Mummy. So for this, for the ending, we don't normally do like an actual vote. Like people just start saying what they want, and we kind of count it up and see what everyone thinks. So, peanut butter, camp, armor. Got another peanut butter. Oh, vote for 3. That's cool. Camp. What about Tim? Tim, we need a vote. Okay, so everybody's all saying camp and peanut butter. So between those two, if you guys had to choose one of those two, which one would it be? These are the only choices. We've narrowed it down. Synopsis. Oh, I could read the synopsis. Okay. I'll read these before we do like a final decision. Okay. So, okay, escape from camp, run for your life. Heads up, you're on your way to sports camp. If only Uncle Ed can find the place. He's the lamest driver ever. A sign up ahead says, Camp Running Leaf. Hey, that's not the name of the camp you signed up for. But Uncle Ed is already driving away. Oh well. Running Leaf is a sports camp too. Isn't that why the campers call it Camp Run for Your Life? If you've got a choice of events. If you enter the athletic competition called Selection, you could be selected for a free trip to be a slave on planet Zentron. Yikes. Maybe you better choose the wilderness hike instead. Just look out for that mountain lion over there. Oh, and try to steer clear of the zombies with rotting limbs. The choice is yours in this scary goosebumps adventure. And the like little secondary title is On Your Mark, Get Set, Scream. On the peanut butter, it's Talk About Snack Attack. So that's kind of funny. Your aunt and uncle told you to stay out of their basement. So of course, you check it out. That's where you find the dusty old refrigerator. In the fridge, there are 2 containers. One is filled with purple goop. It smells just like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The other holds a piece of chocolate cake. Your stomach is growling. If you eat the purple goop, you start shrinking. Pretty soon, you're battling it out with a gigantic monster. A mouse. If you choose the cake, you grow into a tall giant, and you're now trying to escape from the police, who are convinced you're a mutant alien. The choice is yours in this scary goosebumps adventure. Okay, what do you guys think? We got Hunger Games or Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, these both sound great. Anything that mentions zombies. Okay, so the Camp Run for Your Life is the one that mentions zombies. And this is the one that I remember the cover from and being excited about it. So, yeah, we'll go with this one for next week. Can escape from Camp Run for Your Life. This'll be it. We got it. Is everyone gonna actually do it? Because next week is like almost a holiday or something. It's gonna be Friday, the 3rd of July. Are people actually gonna watch my stream that day? Or are you guys gonna be out doing patriotic shenanigans? I am not patriotic shenaniganing, so yeah. complete lockdown. So, here to do it. Okay. Cool. Wonderful. Ooh, nice. So your parents can watch too. Oh, that's awesome. I'm really glad you like told your parents about my stream. That makes me feel really excited. We did do 2 nights in a row. We can't do this all the time, you guys, because we'll run out of books too fast. So, yeah, that's all I got. I think we are all set, and I will talk to you all next week. I can't wait to figure out how to make this look like a summer camp. Yeah, I definitely was like, I don't remember a lot of that beginning part that we read today, so I was definitely not in it anymore before we quit. So, yeah, I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna maybe like do something before I have to go to sleep and just go right back to work again. I love you guys. Bye. Thanks for tuning in.